And hello, welcome everyone to our X39 review with testimonial. Today we're going to do something very special. We're going to talk about female issues and what's really going on with us, with the women in your lives, and how X39 can help us. And then I will talk a little bit about the product, and I will talk a little bit how you can get the product. And today my guest speakers will be myself, Diane, as well as Shawn Zuke, and I will have Diane go last because we're having some communication issues. And if for some reason beautiful Diane cannot get on, I know her story and I will tell it on her behalf. So what's going on with female issues as it relates to the X39? Well, for me personally, a lot of you know that I had breast cancer 2 years ago, almost 3, but most of you don't understand how it's really affected me as a woman. So I'm going to share that. So going on these breast cancer medications and also taking all this chemo destroys your entire immune system, and it destroys all the good bacteria, and then your immune system can't control the bacteria, and you get very, very sick. And for me, I got very, very sick in the vagina. Oh, well, there's a word. And I had UTIs that were not able to ever get control of with antibiotics for the last year. They would make me so sick. They made me more sick than cancer. And I would crawl up in a chair and cry because it was so hard to function. And I would just wonder if I was ever going to get out of it, and I would cycle and cycle and cycle. And then all the cancer doctors told me to be on all these pills that take all your estrogen away because it's supposed to make the cancer not grow. And I tried so much to be on all those pills, but it would take all the estrogen away, and I would get so dry, and then the bacteria just got even worse. And it's almost like my vagina was just falling apart, and it was really, really painful and bad. And I'm so sorry for crying, but you know, you don't feel very sexy or beautiful when you're crying on a chair all the time, and when you have no estrogen, so every part of your body is dry, including your vagina, and it hurts all the time, and you feel like you're dying. And that was actually, it has been in the last year, worse than the cancer ever was. And so what I started to do is wear the X39 9 months ago, and I wear 2. I wear one on the back of my neck, and I wear one right on my vagina. And I wear a glutathione on my Adam's apple, and I wear one right on my vagina. And I wear an Eon on my carotid artery and right on my vagina. I wear 6 because I am trying to pull that infection out. I am trying to stop the inflammation so those bacteria will not stick on the dry wall. And I'm just asking God that the X39 creates moisture again so that I can be a woman again. And it's been 9 months. And the good news is that it's not perfect. I still cycle off and on. And that's really true. But the bacterial cycles are not 6 months long anymore. They're usually 2 or 3 days long. And sometimes the antibiotics work and sometimes they don't. But when the glutathione, Eon, and X39 kick in with it, I seem to be able to push through, and it's really great. And the other really, really great thing is I went off all the no estrogen pills that the doctors wanted to put me on to stop the cancer. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I prayed for God for an answer, and 9 months later, the X39 came. And I have to tell you that it's really crazy, but it's like my hormones are working right again, and I am moist like a young woman again, even though I'm 53 and cancer put me into menopause sooner. And then you had to put all those anti-estrogen pills on top of that, which really messed you up. And now I'm not on any pills, but I don't do any, like some women do, like extra estrogen, you know, on their arms and stuff to try to be a woman again. I don't do any of that because I'm afraid it will ignite the cancer again. But what I do is X39. And I am moist like a woman again with without being on the extra hormones that could kill me, because it would make maybe my cancer grow back. And so for those reasons, I wanted to share this, because maybe this can help some other women out there that have the issues that I've had. And I just want to feel, you know, like a woman again. And I'm moving towards that every day. So with that, I want to thank you for hearing that particular story, because it's kind of an intense story and one that most people wouldn't want to share. So with that, Shawn, why don't you unmute yourself and you tell us about what's going on for you with X39 and being a woman.
I have this like download channel that I want to share with you, Marci, but you make me feel like a natural woman. Thank you, Marci, for sharing from your heart, being so authentic and genuine, and feeling the gratitude of what X39 has brought to you. And Marci shared it with me about, I guess, I don't know, she always gets her months, she changes her months every X39 review, so I kind of go off. But about a month after Marci was on them, she shared them with me. And I just did the 6 patches and loved it. So I ended up getting the 3-month supply about, right when I got home, and started doing the 12 hours on and the 12 hours off. And but my past history, I had my uterus taken out, and I don't even like calling it a hysterectomy, because that's like hysterical, and so I call it a uterectomy. I was lucky and got to keep my ovaries, but I had probably 10 days in a row at one point where my pain was from my knees all the way up to my breasts, from my uterus, like cramping up. And it was like, I got to do something about this. So I ended up choosing to do surgery probably about 5 years ago. And it was a long road to healing. And then the hormones were crazy out of balance, and lots of mood swings. I mean, like where I go into like suffering mode from it, maybe, up to 3 days of like victim and poor me. But it's just from my brain not really working right, because the hormones weren't in balance. And, and so anyway, that, and also just my periods were like so long, and just took I ended up getting having the lack of iron, whatever you call that. So very weak. So anyway, I kind of was on the healing path when the patches came in, but the hot flashes were like out of control. I mean, thick with sweat. And I mean, like my boyfriend, I'm like, touch this. And he'd be like, it was just so out of control. But after about 2 weeks, that's really the first, as I noticed, I stopped having hot flashes. And I mean, and I was like, you kind of think, well, coincidence, but it's been 7 months now on these patches, and I may get a little teeny one, like it's cyclic, but I mean, nothing like it was. And it's rare. And it's like, it surprises me. Even when I get a little hot, it surprises me, but I think I pretty much evolved out of it. Now the moodiness, it's a godsend, because what I believe is that when we can keep our mind still and free of fear and the chatter, which I think when balanced brains, we end up chattering more. And I've just been able to hold a sense of peace and love and light. And I do want to express, it is solstice right now. We got a lot of light coming onto our planet, and I'm enjoying it, and really being able to feel happy, like consistently. So I think that's evolved with not only brain coherence, but also the hormone balancing, cleansing out the liver. That's a big part of it too. Now, what really shocked me was I was having, this was intermittent, but it started after about 4 months of using the product. I was having these bearing down pains in my groin. It would wake me up in the middle of the night. It was always at night. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? I mean, I was like, oh, is this my intestines? I got some problems here, and am I have cancer? Am I, you start thinking that when you're in that much pain. And anyway, I had a talk with Kathleen, who's a light worker healer, and she's like, Shawn, you're retracing your scar tissue from your uterectomy. And I was like, that moment when it was the aha, I resonated with it so deeply. I haven't had that experience after it happening 5 or 6 times. I haven't had that experience again. So I do think that when we recognize where it's coming from, that we have the power to transmute it or understand it so that it can be released out of the physical into the light vibration, the light frequency, right? So anyway, that's my story. I love you. Thank you for letting me share today.
You know, you retrace the scar tissue from getting rid from the uterus coming out. You absolutely did. And what happened is that those new stem cells were moving into the old tissue, and there was a little battle. And what happened is the new stem cells won the battle. And the hot flashes, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. I was having hot flashes like 5-10 times a day. It was a nightmare. And I maybe have one a day now. Maybe. I didn't, sometimes you forget until somebody else says, like, whoa. And the other thing for me is like the glutathione patch, like in 3 weeks, pulled all my bacteria out of my back. I forgot to tell you that. So the bacteria goes from my vagina up my nervous system, my spine, and it goes to my ears. I can feel it move up and down my body. It's the grossest thing ever. And the glutathione pulled it out of my back. I literally had acne coming out of my back. I had dry skin coming out of my back. I had pivots in my back. I literally thought I had inflammatory breast cancer of the back until I did research and realized it doesn't come in the back. Yay. And I actually got a little more understanding of what was happening is that glutathione was just pulling it all out. And it took 3 weeks and my back is clear now. And so there's something going on with all of this. So Shawn, thank you so much. And Diane, are you able to unmute yourself now, honey? There you are. Are you there? And so you're here. But we don't hear you. Yeah. Did you call on into the phone? There.
Okay. A lot of feedback here. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you. You're good.
Okay, awesome. Okay. All right. So my story with my
Diane, what's happening is you're on the phone. You need to shut. I have her unmuted. You need to move from another room. Take your phone to the other room. Just leave the screen.
Okay.
Now go away from your computer. Now talk on your phone.
Okay.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, now we can hear you. So Diane, tell us your story, honey. She told me her story yesterday and it made me cry. And I said, we have to do this today. We just have to be real about what's happening to women. And we hope we can be of benefit. So Diane, please let us know what's been going on with you.
Okay. Well, I have had I've got 4 children. I'll be 62 on Tuesday. And I was starting to have issues with needing to wear a pad once in a while about 5 years ago. So I went to my doctor and they sent me to a urologist, and he said I had a prolapsed bladder and recommended surgery. And I said, well, is there anything I can do to avoid that? I said, really rather not have to have that. I said, maybe when I get 75 or 80 if I need to. I said, but I really just, I really don't want to, I don't like invasive surgeries. So he, recommended Kegel exercises and losing weight. And I have just kind of maintained my weight for the last 5 years. So it's not really like I've gained a lot, but I haven't really lost a lot. But I do feel that my problem was starting to come back really with a vengeance in the last year.
And that problem, Diane, just so people understand, I hope it's okay I say this, but the problem why she has to wear a pad, because her bladder is not working well and she will just go pee all the time. right? I mean, that's really what's happening, right? And she can't stop it, right? And so it totally affects you. Like, can you imagine going to the mall and all of a sudden your bladder just gives out? I mean, this is what's really happening to her. It'd be really hard to have quality of life. Okay, thank you, Diane.
Truly, that is things that happen. And it's like, you know, I mean, I could soak a big pad if I didn't make it to the bathroom in time. And sometimes I just couldn't even, you know, like just in between, just even control it. It would just, you know. So anyway, I was like thinking, oh gosh, I mean, back in the winter, I was actually thinking about going ahead and getting the surgery done. And then in of April, beginning of May, I think is when my friend Annie DeCoker introduced me to the X39 patch. And my husband and I shared the first sleeve I got, and we noticed after about 6 days that I had slept all night that night before. Only got up one time to go to the bathroom, and I was controlling myself. I wasn't like having to go through pads every day, and I was like, you know, feeling joyous about that. And then, so now it's been, and then we were without the patches for about 12 days in between ordering and having the money to upgrade to gold. And so then toward that 12th day, I was starting to have the issues starting to come back a little bit, but thankfully the patches came in time, and now I've been doing really well again with it. And I also have a prolapsed uterus that's down inside my vagina. It's like, you know, feeling like I've got this ugly growth or something.
Diane, it actually, your uterus actually falls into your vagina. Can you imagine actually walking around and having that just hanging there, right?
Yeah, just inside there, but yeah, not hanging out. But it was like, and it was like making me feel just, I mean, it's about myself. Like I was just unattractive, and I was just feeling, you know, not good about myself. And the patches have been actually, and I haven't even honestly been exercising like I should. I really recommend doing Kegel exercises for the bladder and for the uterus. The female problems, like holding it for, you know, doing the Kegel exercises properly, you want to hold it for about 10 seconds, as if you're trying to hold your pee. But anyway, and you need to do those about 10 of them at a time to really get effectiveness from it. But I've actually noticed a lot of tightening up in there. It's like I don't feel that bulge inside there now as bad. I do still feel it, but it's not, I mean, it's still in there, but it's not as bad as it was. It's more tightening up. And it's just making me feel like myself again, and it make me feel younger, make me not feel quite so hopeless, like I'm going to have surgery. I don't think I'm going to have to. I think if I just continue on this regimen of using the X39 patch every day and maybe lose a little bit of weight, that would be good, and just keep exercising, that I can actually reverse this process and hold it off. I mean, hopefully forever, but at least for a long time.
Wow. I mean, it's pretty powerful, Diane. I mean, what I think is happening for you is, once again, your army got activated, and it was going to the bladder and the uterus, and it was repairing what needed to repair, because that's where you needed to go. And what's amazing to me, that pretty quickly you were able to, not, wet yourself at night. You were literally able to go to the bathroom normally, and you slept all night except going to the bathroom one time. I mean,
oh my gosh. And it's improved my energy so much, because I'm sleeping better and not having to get up during the night so often. Only maybe one time, usually one time I still do have to get up at night. That's been always kind of my normal. And so I'm sleeping better, and that's giving me more energy throughout the day, and just making me I just feel a lot better overall. Just energy, mood, everything. So it's just really improved my quality of life a lot.
Wow. I mean, honestly, Diane, last night we were just talking about female stuff, and she's telling me about her bladder and her uterus and what's going on. And I told her about my bacterial infections and no hormones, so I'm just dried out and don't. And we were both like, this is like real problems. I'm like, I know. Like, why are we hiding this when this is really happening? And we
Yeah.
just said, well, let's not anymore. Why don't we just tell people what's really going on with us, you know? And
Right.
then,
Right.
you know, so here it is, you know, like
Well,
our
I mean, and
female
then I think
parts
women
matter too. Go ahead, yes.
and I think women at our age, you know, start maybe not experiencing as good of quality of sex, you know, like our, you know, with our husbands or our partners. And it's like, you know, that's improving a lot too. Just well, I mean, I don't have that extra bulge inside there as badly, you know, it's like, it's tightening up, it's moist, it's like, you know, it's more enjoyable.
Yeah, right? It doesn't hurt. What a concept. You know, and just so you know, men, you're not gonna get away from this talk. You know, there's a conversation for men issues too, just so you know. So just know you're not getting out of this. So with that, thank you.
Well, Marci, I did not actually tell you, but that my husband's on the X39 too, and it's actually increased his libido too. So he's doing a lot better in that area too.
Well, you see there, so maybe he will come on the call for us, and maybe we'll grab 2 more of our men. You know, it's not just about male pattern baldness anymore. Now is it, boys? So with that, let's talk about how this darn patch works, right? So you never knew that this call was going to be so fun, did you? Oh my goodness. X39, that's what it is. And yeah, tell everybody don't miss this call, send the recording. And this is what it looks like. It looks like a Band-Aid. And when you put it on the heat of your skin, it creates we need to mute. Is somebody, Peter, I don't know, if it comes back, I need a mute, or Jan or Peter. And what it does is it hits it when the heat of your skin actually is infrared light, and it actually hits these organic crystals, which are made of amino acids, and there is a light wave that reflects back to you. Just like when you're out in the sun and you have vitamin D that elevates because of the light wave of the sun. That's what's happening with this patch. And it actually elevates a wave that elevates something called GHK copper peptides. It's a protein we make in our body. And if you go to pubmed.gov and search it, you'll see that it's the holy grail of anti-aging. It's pretty amazing. But what this little protein does in our body when elevated, it activates our stem cells, it makes more stem cells, and it resets those stem cells to a younger, healthier state. So let's talk about Diane, what really happened with her. She put the patch on, and you put it right here below the base of your neck, and you wear it 12 hours on to activate. Then you take it off and you let your body repair for 12 hours. And then you put it on again. And that's exactly what Diane was doing. It's like the light. You got to turn it on and off, on and off. You heard me, I wear 2 at a time. You can wear, any spot will do. You can wear more than 1 at a time as long as you turn it on and off, like a light. If you keep your light on 24 hours a day, the bulb will burn out. This is light frequency therapy elevation. So let's talk about that. So normally at age 30, you lose 50% of your stem cell activity. By age 60, you've lost almost all of it. So here's Diane. I think she's a little bit in her 60s would be my guess. And so she's having all these issues with her bladder and her uterus. And there ain't no stem cell army going up there to repair it anymore. And she's in a lot of agony. She starts this patch and she reactivates that stem cell army to march again. And now it's marching up there, and it's fixing the bladder, and it's fixing the uterus, and it's turning into whatever stem cells she needs for her body to repair. And guess what? It's doing the repair. And when you put these young pluripotent stem cells, they're special. Pluripotent stem cells have the unique ability to turn into whatever your body needs to repair. And when you put those young stem cells on old tissue, guess what? You turn the tissue young again. We're getting a young bladder. We're getting a young uterus. We're getting a young vagina. What the hey? We're young again. So basically, David Schmidt, the owner and the CEO and the inventor of our company, says this is not anti-aging, this is age reversal. And we are seeing it. We are proof of it, okay? It's really, really special. And people notice this sometimes in 1 to 10 days. They'll notice something, but real healing can happen in 1 to 3 months. And that's why there is a 90-day money-back guarantee for customers and a 30-day money-back guarantee for distributors, because sometimes you don't feel it right away. And when you don't feel it right away, it's because those stem cells are going to go repair an internal organ first. And then it goes to the next thing and the next thing until it finally goes to something you feel. And that's why David, the owner of the company, gives this money back guarantee. And all I can tell you, most of us that have been on it for 9 months, it's repairing what we need. But in addition, we're getting crazy things like super long, beautiful hair again, and no gray or little less gray, right? Our skin's all bright and glowing. And we just kind of have the joy and youthful energy of being young again. And it's crazy. And if we can't even actually believe it's happening, but it is. And so that's why we're so passionate about sharing the patch, because here's the deal, the patch works. There is a 20-year patent on the patch. We got that patent just 4 weeks ago. And so we have no competition for 20 years. And David Schmidt, the owner and inventor, he owns this company. And he doesn't have a board of directors. He doesn't have anybody telling him what to do. He does what he wants to do. And in the last 15 years, he has built into 100 countries. He has about 15 different patches. But the X39 has just come out a year ago. And he says this is his 3rd generation of patches, and it's powerful. And before that, he built the backbone. Did you know that he makes the organic crystals right in-house? Do you know that we have a full vertical distribution? Like, he's in charge, right? And here's the thing, before X39, the company was doing about 50 million a year. In this year alone, because of the X39, we've jumped to 100 million. So make no mistake, we're in momentum right now. And a lot of companies talk about it, but we're actually living it. And it's super duper fun, because all we do is wear the patch, share the patch. We gift the patches with these little envelopes, and we change people's lives. And it's not a push business. We're just enjoying the process. So if you want to try the patch, get with the person who brought you here and tell them you'd like it at retail for $149, or go to their website and hit buy. If you'd like to be a preferred customer, then you can get it for $99 and go to their website and hit buy, and you ship it every month. Once again, those two have a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's absolutely no risk to you. At day 2.5 months, you can return them all and get a full refund. But I'll tell you, if you hit it to the 3 months, you'll never go off of it. If you'd like to come in and buy a pack wholesale, we like to start with the silver pack, which is 3 of these, and that's a 3-month supply for $2.99. And that's because that gives you enough for yourself, enough for you to share, enough for your family. And if you decide you want to build a business and gift patches and do what Peter and I did, great. And if you just want a big supply, like 3 months, just so you have enough and you don't have to pay shipping every single month, awesome. If you decide you want to get a bigger pack, we also like the diamond pack, and that's 19 sleeves. And that gets your sleeves down to $84 a sleeve. And it really gives you enough to start your business. And it gives you 3 months of activation for the business. And it also allows you to make a little more commission if you decide you want to build a business. I started with the silver pack. And once I realized that Peter wanted to do this with me, I just upgraded myself to a diamond pack. I paid the difference in cost, got the difference in sleeves, and I made a little more commission when he decided to join the business. And honestly, in the last 9 months, we've just never looked back. I didn't see this business coming. Like I said, I had 1 foot on the other side. I didn't think I was coming back, and I did. And so that's awesome. And I want to thank Peter for saying yes to do this business with me. I'm so in gratitude for you. And if you have any questions at all, you can go to startx39.com. And there's a great 3-minute video on how the patches work. There's a 19-minute video from David Schmidt on the science. You can look at all the testimonials, all the research, all the patents, and how to wear the patch. It's pretty amazing. And with that, we always like to end in 30 minutes. So we thank you so much for coming today. We hope you enjoyed it. And check out tomorrow night at 6 o'clock Pacific. We'll have another great X39 testimonial and review on Monday night. And that will be myself, Shawn Zuke, and Mariah Thomas-Wolf. And with that, have a great rest of your Father's Day. We love you all, and goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Marci. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Marci.
Hi, Peter.